Welcome to the Daily Word. I greet you in the name and in the love and the peace of Jesus Christ. And for our daily word today, I'd like to actually take us to the book of Numbers, and I hope you'll stay tuned in. I know it is sometimes difficult to keep pushing forward in the Old Testament, and I just really encourage you to do that because you never know when God's going to light up some little nugget there and really speak into your heart. And so I want to share with you where I felt like God lit up a portion of the Old Testament for me on our readings for today. And this is actually got to do with oxen carts, oddly enough. So we're reading through, and in chapter 7 here, it gets down to, okay, how do we transport this complex of the tabernacle? We've got this very important complex that sat right in the middle of the Israelite camp. It was symbolic of the fact that their life was meant to be centered on God, just like ours is. It was symbolic of the presence of God. This was like the epicenter of His presence, so that they would know that He was right there in their midst. It was a visible reminder. Every time they would come out of their tents, they would know God is with us. God is with us, right? So this is a big deal, and so there were leaders of tribes that donated these 6 carts, and yet the Kohathites, we read, it says, but he gave none of the wagons or oxen to the Kohathite division. Okay, well that seems a little unfair. It says, since they were required to carry the sacred objects of the tabernacle on their shoulders. So they actually, we think, they're kind of getting a raw deal here, but actually they have this special privilege of being charged with carrying the most sacred items of the tabernacle, the inner sanctuary, the altar, the Ark of the Covenant. I mean, they are charged with the holiest things of God. And so, these things are so holy. It would be so wrong just to toss them into a cart. It'd be so wrong. These have to be treated with this special care because of their holiness. Now, hold on to that thought. Hold on to that thought, because I want to take us to the New Testament now, into 1 Corinthians chapter 6. Now, let me tell you first of all what's going on here. There was this thought, and some people still have this thought today, but it was very common in this day. There was this thought that, the flesh is really nothing. It's just sort of a cage. It's a prison. And what really matters is the spirit. And one day I'll be released from this prison. And so the body is just this thing to be discarded, and so it doesn't matter what you do with your body. There was this saying, the food for the stomach and the stomach for food. And so sexual desires were seen as something just like an appetite, like for food. And so it doesn't matter what I do with my body. And in Corinth, and we got to go to Corinth on one of our pilgrimages, the journey through the Journeys of Paul pilgrimage. We got to go to Corinth, and you look up the hill, and on top of the hill, just above the city, was a temple to Aphrodite. And so this church was really in the center of a place that was a lot like Las Vegas. And the worship of Aphrodite, as you can imagine, involved being with temple prostitutes. And Paul is teaching them that what you do with your body matters, and it matters very much. Why? Listen to this. He says, chapter 6, verse 19 of 1 Corinthians, don't you realize that your body is the temple of the Holy Spirit who lives in you and was given to you by God? You do not belong to yourself, for God bought you with a high price, so you must honor God with your body. In the same way that these objects that the Kohathite tribe or clan was transporting Just like they couldn't just toss these into a cart. They couldn't just do what they wanted. It wasn't just a matter of getting them from point A to point B. These things were holy, and they had to be treated with this level of reverence and respect. They had to be carried, but not even touched. They carried them with poles because they were so holy. And now Paul says that the temple is now our bodies. Elsewhere, he says the temple is the church, the members of the body being built together into this holy temple unto the Lord. It is where the Spirit of the Lord now dwells. Want to be reminded that God is with us? And ask God for the confirmation of the Holy Spirit that you are His child, as the Scriptures promise us. That assurance given to us by the Spirit of the living God dwelling in us. The truth is that we are not free to do just anything we want with our bodies, because now that Christ gave His life for us and we accepted that gift, we gave ourselves to Him just as He gave Himself for us. It's a bit like this, I've said, just joking before, that when we got married, that Ashley, somehow she just expected me to stop dating, right? And I joke about that, but it's very serious, because I am no longer my own. I can't just do anything I want. And she can't do it either. She belongs to me. I belong to her. Right? That's the way this thing works. And Paul says, under the inspiration of the Holy Spirit, you know what? We don't belong to ourselves anymore. Christ gave His life for us. We were bought at a high price. And we give our lives to Him as He gave His life for us. And so as we think about our bodies and what we do with our bodies, we have to consider the fact that they are sacred. That they are sacred because they are dwelling places. They are temples of the Most High God. And they belong to God.